I can see 28 people are joined till now. Okay, so let's start with this one. That is Introduction to Neural Network case study. Right. So here I will try to give a basic idea about neural network. What is neural network? What is neurons? Let's try to see because here as per your syllabus they have only mentioned this one, Introduction to Neural Network. So maybe it all depends on our time. If we get time, then I will show you the implementation. Otherwise, we will talk about the very part only, Introduction to Neural Network. Okay. So let's continue with that. And maybe if we get time, then we will start with this fourth unit. So that is data visualization and tools. Okay. Now, as the topic is introduction to neural network, let's see some of the basic things which are possible talking about neural network. And yes, maybe I will be giving you some idea about what type of questions you are going to see in your exam. Okay, so I will try to show you some basic questions. Maybe today, if you get some time, what type of questions you can expect from the topics which we have discussed till now, specifically based on third unit and fourth unit. Okay, so introduction to neural network. So those questions maybe we will try to see later on once we are done with this. Now, whenever we talk about neural network, right, as per your topic, we need to have a we just need to discuss about an introduction to this one, right? So whenever we talk about neural network, there comes a word there is a word which comes into picture, and that is nothing but neurons. Okay. Now there are biological neurons also. Right? Many of you might be knowing about in our body we have neurons. See, it's not like that only in brain we have neurons. Suppose if I go and if I try to just Google something like this, okay, so you will be able to see these pictures, right? So these are the pictures which are talking about neurons. For example, let me open this particular image. So as you can see in this image, you can check it, it's a neuron. Now that particular neuron itself is divided into different what we can say, there are different aspects of neuron, biological neuron. If I try to talk, you can see there is something called as here you can check dendritic branches, right? These are the branches you can see this one. So whenever we talk about neurons, first of all, let's see why how our body is making use of neurons. See, it is because of neurons only our body is able to transfer one information from another, one information from one part to another part. For example, we are able to sense something, it is because of neurons. That's why I told you it's not like that there is only neurons in human brain. Neurons are present everywhere in the human body. Just try to understand that. And here, as we are talking about biological neurons, right? So just to just related to that, let's try to see this particular figure. This one. Now see here, there is something called as dendrite. Dendrite is a very important part of human neurons or biological neurons, I can say, right? So these neurons, I mean to say, they are present in all the parts of the body. It is because of neurons only we are able to remember the things for maybe for short period of time, right? Or maybe for long period of time. And it is because of neurons only we are able to send signals. We are able to send the information from one part to another part of the body. Now, talking about this, so yes, obviously, if you go and if you try to read about all these things, definitely will be there are a lot of books which are available if you talk about biological neurons. But here, talking about our topic, what one needs to understand is neurons are basically used because there is a need to transfer the information from one part to another, right? So, in neural network, which is a network of neurons, I can say, what are we going to do is we are going to achieve something like artificial neurons, right? The way with which biological neuron works, something similar to that we try to implement here in neural network, and that's what actually happens in case of deep learning. Actually, deep learning makes use of deep learning is based on neural network. Right? Neural network is a very important part of deep learning. Deep learning is a very huge topic, definitely. As we have already seen, if you people remember, right, when we talk about deep learning, machine learning, artificial intelligence, so different domains are there. and they are, yes, they are somewhere they are related to each other. And we have seen that AI is the bigger umbrella, right? Now, just to start our discussion with neural network, first of all, let's see what is the difference between, what is the basic difference between these two terms, machine learning and deep learning. Even though we have seen that deep learning is a part of machine learning, right? But many applications you will see that the applications which can be developed with deep learning or whatever machine learning can do, yes, deep learning can do that. But vice versa might not be true always. Right? Try to understand this particular point, which is important. So basically, talking about machine learning and deep learning, right? In both of these, we can do predictive modeling. Okay. Predictive modeling kind of a thing can be done in both machine learning as well as deep learning, as well as something like forecasting we can do with the help of both machine learning as well as deep learning. This is possible. Specifically, in as we talked about different models till now, we have seen linear regression. We talked about support vector machine. Then k nearest neighbor we talked about. Then k means we talked about. So all that was a part of a machine learning. So here, as I'm talking that, as I'm saying that predictive modeling and forecasting, both these things can be done with the help of ML and DL both. Specifically in ML, we decide the feature. We decide feature, or I can say attribute. So in ML, we decide the feature which affects the output. For example, maybe just take an example of predicting the marks of student, right? Predicting marks. So here we as humans, we decide the feature which are going to affect the marks of the student, right? That's what happens in case of machine learning. So predicting the marks of a student, here we decide the feature. So whatever the features that affect the marks of a student, those features will be decided by human scientists. In case of, that's what happens in case of machine learning, right? But if we talk about deep learning, here the features will be selected by system. The features, this is a very basic difference between machine learning and deep learning. Features will be selected by system. Try to understand it. Here the features will be selected by humans. We select the features. But in case of deep learning, features will be selected by system itself. Okay. So in case of deep learning, I can say that there is no human intervention, right? So we can say deep learning is like humans. This one is like humans because here we have a concept of human brain in case of deep learning. We actually try to create a human-like brain. So as if our brain works, we want our machine to work in a similar way in case of deep learning. So making an artificial brain is basically called as artificial intelligence, right? Just try to understand making an artificial brain is called as artificial intelligence. So deep learning, if you talk about, it's a part of AI only, right? Deep learning is a part of it. So in deep learning, we have, so as we are talking about neural network, and neural network is deep learning mixed with neural network. That's why I'm trying to talk about deep learning here, right? So as I said that making an artificial brain is nothing but AI, and deep learning is a part of AI. So deep learning has three types related to neural network. So which are those three types now? So let's try to talk about all of them one by one. The first one is artificial neural network, ANN. The second one is convolutional neural network, CNN. And the third one is recurrent neural network, RNN. Right? And by chance, if you people are aware about this one, just let me know. Okay? I do not want to repeat the things which have been already covered. I can see there are only 38 people today, right? So maybe those who are aware about all these things already, just let me know in the chat box. Okay, I'm not going to repeat it if you are already aware about it. So deep learning, which makes use of neural network. So we have three types: artificial neural network, convolutional neural network, and recurrent neural network. Now let's see what is the meaning of all these things. Okay, let's try to talk about all these things one by one. Okay. Forecasting is forecasting is the thing. But what if I want to give a simple example? So what will be the price of the shares after 2 months? That is forecasting. Or what will happen after 2 months? That is forecasting. Right? Is it clear, Sharon? Are you getting my point? That's what the example of forecasting. More or less, they are also same. Okay. Yes. Now, so as we talked about neurons later on, see, whenever we talk about neurons, whenever we want to implement all these things, so we require some frameworks. So here comes the frameworks like TensorFlow, right? Then there is something called as PyTorch. So basically, we make use of all these things in neural networks or in deep learning for that matter. So TensorFlow is actually developed by Google. So see, as we talked about scikit-learn till now for machine learning, right? Keras. Keras, Sharon, Keras is by default installed in TensorFlow. You don't have to explicitly install Keras. Once you install TensorFlow, by default Keras is going to come. That's why I did not mention Keras. Right? If I want to mention, there are other tools also which can be used. But specifically, we make use of these things. So TensorFlow is developed by Google. The only difference between them is that, see, whatever you can do with the TensorFlow, you can do the same thing with PyTorch. The only difference is TensorFlow is a product of Google and PyTorch is developed by Facebook. This is the only one. And again, TensorFlow is actually built on top of some other thing that is not a part to discuss here. But yeah, just to give an idea, maybe some of you might be aware about implementation of neural network models, maybe ENN, CNN, and RNN. So definitely you are going to come across this TensorFlow Python. So once you install TensorFlow, definitely by default Keras is also going to be there. So you need to check out for the correct version of Python to work with the correct version of TensorFlow. But again, that's not a part which is there, which is mentioned in your syllabus. So, but remember, whenever we talk about neural network, if you want to implement it the way we implemented different machine learning models with the help of scikit-learn, definitely you want to need these things, TensorFlow and Python, because I have seen many people directly step into these things. Obviously, if you directly go here and then you will try to understand Python and TensorFlow, you will not get anything. You should know what is NumPy, you should know what is Pandas, you should know what is Matplotlib, Seaborn, you should know machine learning models, you should know machine learning algorithms, you should know pre-processing techniques. So that's why one cannot go directly here. And then once you understand these two things, and then you can go further and you can understand about okay, how to incorporate any Python code in hardware. Some of you might do who are interested in IoT, who is interested in developing different applications related to IoT and artificial intelligence. So you are going to need machine learning, deep learning, computer vision, and all those things. What do you mean by this? It means you are going to need Python, you are going to need packages, you are going to need all these frameworks. Flask we have used in one of our applications, right? Along with this, then you are going to need some hardware tools. For example, some of you might be aware about Google Cora. So whatever the model, suppose in our discussions, in our previous sessions, we created some models. Those people who are present, if you remember, we created a model which was trying to predict the chance of admission of a student for a university, right? So if you want to incorporate those models in hardware like Google Cora, you can do that. You might be learning something like Raspberry Pi, right? Because I have seen many people they conduct some workshops and they directly talk about all these things. So generally, whenever people say these kind of products, they feel excited, right? So, but yes, if you really want to make some sense about all these things, you need to go and try to clear the basics first. Raspberry Pi is there, right? Then there is something called as Jetson Nano. So all these are the hardware tools definitely which you can make use of, and inside these hardware tools you can go and you can incorporate your Python code. What I mean to say is, suppose just take an example of Google Cora. Google Cora is a small board. It's a small board. Those who are aware about Raspberry Pi, right? They might be knowing. It's a small board. It's a small computer only, where you have a USB port, where you can connect the camera. Maybe you can connect this one to drone programming. Those who are aware about. So everywhere you will be able to see that machine learning, deep learning, and AI is there, right? Whether it's IoT or whatever you talk about. it is going to be there. So you can go and you can connect all these things. You can connect camera, right? So what you can do is, suppose if you have created a project like object detection. So you want to detect whether it's a human, whether it's a bike, whether it's a helmet, whether it's a green signal, red signal. You can go and you can do these kind of projects with the help of neural network, or maybe in case of deep learning, even though you can do these kind of projects. So you gonna need these kind of frameworks, TensorFlow and PyTorch, right? But to make some sense about all these things, first of all, you need to understand this one. And to understand this one, you need to understand this particular thing. And to understand this neural network, one should have at least basic idea about machine learning. Because initially, if you people remember, we already seen that deep learning is actually a part of machine learning only, which in turn is a part of AI. And that's why AI is a bigger umbrella. I hope you people are making some sense, right? I'm making some sense. You are getting my point, whatever I'm trying to talk about. So our topic is introduction to neural network, right? And that's why we are discussing on it. So now, as I said that there is biological neuron, but in case of neural network, what we do is we try to make use of artificial neurons. So let me talk about, so introduction, in case of introduction to neural network, let me talk about types of artificial neural networks, right? Or types of neural networks, I can say. So in case of neural networks, let's try to talk about. There are three types. So as we talked about deep learning, right? So I can say three types of deep learning. Even I can say like this. So remember, deep learning is what it is just, I can say, making an artificial brain. In the simple words, I can define deep learning. I know that this is not the only definition. I know that there is internet available. You can go and you can refer internet. You can go and you can search in some books. A lot of definitions are possible, right? So in simple words, I can define deep learning like this: making an artificial brain. This is nothing but deep learning. Now talking about types. So there are three types possible. First one is ANN, right? So that is nothing but first type I can talk about is, and remember this name, okay? Artificial neural network, at least for your exam. Artificial neural network. This is the first one, not first type. Second one is convolutional neural network. So as I'm talking about neural networks, this is the first type. Second type is this one, convolutional neural network. Okay? Neural network. And the third one is, third type of deep learning or neural network is recurrent neural network. This one, recurrent neural network. So these are the three types. Now, what is this artificial neural network is all about? Again, you can develop different deep learning projects with the help of any one of these uh, types of neural networks, whether ANN, CNN, or RNN. Right? So generally, people write down make use of short forms here. ANN is nothing but artificial neural network. CNN is nothing but convolutional neural network, and RNN is nothing but recurrent neural network. Now let's talk about artificial neural network. So what happens in case of artificial neural network is generally it is used for numerical data. Now these are some of the important points. Generally, this is used for numerical data because it has been seen that there is a high accuracy for numerical data with the help of artificial neural network. So for numerical data, this artificial neural network gives high accuracy. So which type of a network gives high accuracy for numerical data? It's artificial neural network, right? But even though, see, try to understand, even though I am saying that for numerical data you can make use of artificial neural network, but again, that's not a hard and fast rule. This also can be used for image data as well. Definitely, for numerical data, whenever there is numerical data, artificial neural network is always preferred. But it does not mean that you cannot make use of artificial neural network for image data. You can make use of artificial neural network for image data also. But it is recommended that for ANN can be used for, ANN should be used for numerical data because it gives high accuracy for numerical data. These are some of the points about ANN. Let's try to talk about convolutional neural network. Let's see. So this is generally used for image data, or I can say generally it is preferred for image data. Suppose client sent you a data set and which is in the form of image. Suppose client sent you, suppose if you want to develop a model and that model is doing something like, suppose maybe if you have X-ray images of the patients, right? Which is talking of, which is giving you some information about pneumonia. Right. So what you can do with the help of those X-ray images, you can go and you can create a model which can help you to classify the patients as COVID positive patients or COVID negative patients, positive negative patients. Because we know that if the pneumonia level is high, so depending on the pneumonia only, pneumonia level only, it will decide, you might be known, right, whether the patient is COVID positive or COVID negative. So it means if you have X-ray images, you can train the model, a classification model, with the help of convolutional neural network. Now, what's a classification model? Examples of all those things we have seen in KNN, right? K nearest neighbors. SVM, support vector machine, which can be used for classification. So, convolutional neural network kind of a neural network can be used for image data, but it's not like that. It can be used only for image data. It can be used for text data as well, right? But for image data, it is going to give high accuracy. So image data will have high accuracy in case of convolutional neural network, right? That's why many people, you will hear many people saying that CNN is used only for image data. It is not like that. It can be used for text data as well, but high accuracy is for image data. And that's why you will hear many people saying that convolutional neural network only used for image data. Okay, but try to understand the fact. Let's try to talk about the third type, and that is nothing but recurrent neural network. So what is this? Generally, the concept behind RNN or recurrent neural network is something called as LSTM. Now, what is this LSTM? LSTM actually stands for, remember, at least the short form, long short-term memory. The memory which is short, but it's a long term. So long short-term memory. Understand the term. Long short-term memory. So RNN actually makes use of something called as long short-term memory. Now what is this? Let's see. See, now if I want to talk about RNN, so in our brain, you might be knowing, right? In our brain, there exists a short memory. And because of that short memory, or that short memory only enables us to remember short memory data. Because of short memory, right? We are able to remember short memory data. So we can remember something for short period of time, I can say. It is because of short memory only. For example, suppose like today I am discussing some concept, right? So suppose today I am discussing about neural network, introduction to neural network, right? These concepts I am discussing. So maybe whatever I am discussing today, that will be remembered by you people for 2 or 3 days, right? And if you don't basically practice these things, you will forget the things, right? That's actually a short-term memory means. So you remember something for short period of time. That's what short memory means. So LSTM makes use of something like that. I hope you are getting my point, right? So now, if I want to use some examples here, so this RNN kind of a thing can be used in number of applications. Let's suppose it can be used in recommendation engines, right? See, if you people remember, I told you in case of off-priority algorithm, I told you that in case of recommendations, you can go and you can use off-priority algorithm, right? But see, same thing you can do in case of deep learning or neural network. So in case of recommendations, you can make use of RNN kind of a thing, which is one of the types of neural networks only, right? For example, recommendation systems means what? For example, if I want to give, let's take an example of Google search, right? What happens in case of Google search? So if you are trying to type something, so RNN can be used to predict the next word. Suppose if you are typing Sachin, right? So it is going to predict the next word, Tendulkar. So you can make use of recurrent neural network to predict the next word, right? So something like this it is going to predict, and obviously there are different results which are possible. So in this kind of application, definitely you can make use of AI, or maybe there are other applications also. Like you can make use of this one in Flipkart recommendations, right? Amazon. You might have seen in case of YouTube, you get recommendations. So RNN is able to develop those kind of applications. Those kind of models can be developed in case of RNN. Like you might have seen recommended for you. Many times you might have read recommended for you. So how? It depends on what type of content you might have seen earlier. Based on that, it is recommending you something. And that is nothing but recurrent neural network, right? So in short, as our topic is introduction to neural network, so this is what I can say about neural network, artificial neural network, convolutional neural network, and recurrent neural network. Now let me talk about, let me talk about artificial neural network. As I said that this artificial neural network can be used for image data, right? Let's take an example. Suppose there is a, we want to create a prediction model. So we want to predict, okay, we want to predict whether a cat or a dog, whether a cat or a dog is present in the image, right? But see, here it is image, at one we want to predict whether a cat or a dog is present in the image. So let's suppose 0 indicates cat and 1 indicates dog. Let's suppose this is what we have. So we got an image. In this image, there is some picture here, something like this we have. Okay. We want to find out whether it's a cat or a dog, right? So let's say this image is converted to zeros and ones. Again, how to convert it into zeros and ones? So you can make use of NumPy array in that case, and that's why we discuss NumPy array initially. Because image as it is, you cannot go and you cannot process as it is. You need to store it in the form of zeros and ones, and because zeros and ones is the thing which binary language is the thing which machine understands, right? So let's say this image is converted into zeros and ones. So in case of artificial neural network, we make use of some layers. There are some layers which we make use of in ANN, artificial neural network. Now, which are those layers? The first layer is input layer. Remember this notes. At least people who are interested in developing machine learning models, deep learning models, or NLP or computer vision, right? Or at least if you are interested, maybe this is important for examples. Input layer. This is the first layer which it makes it. Then there is something called as hidden layer, which it makes it. And there is one more layer, and that is nothing but output layer. So these are the different layers which are present in artificial neural networks. Now, if I talk about input layer or maybe hidden layer or output layer, now the number of these layers is dependent on some factors. So, for example, how many layers are there for input? How many input layers should be there? So in number of input layers, see, number of input layers should always be 1. Okay, number of output layers should always be 1. But number of hidden layers, it is n. So it is actually dependent on, this depends on, I can say it depends on the data which is available, or maybe I can say it depends on the type of a problem statement. So a very basic thing here, just try to understand. In case of artificial neural network, we have got different layers. Input layer, hidden layer, output layer. Right. Those who try to study this, they might have seen something like this, some diagrams like this. Those people who directly try to study deep learning, or maybe you might have tried to develop some mini projects, you might have come across this kind of a thing. Right? This is what I am trying to talk about. This is the input layer, this is hidden layer, and this is output layer. So I mean to say, uh, number of neurons or number of, I can say number of number of layers. How many number of layers should be there? Input layer should be one, output layer should be one, and number of hidden layers, it is n I have written because it depends on the data or the problem statement. I hope till this point everyone is clear, right? If you have any doubt, you can ask. Okay. So in all layers we have, whether it's a input layer, whether it's a hidden layer, or whether it's a output layer. In all these layers we have neurons. Now what is this neuron? Let's try to talk about this. See, I hope you people are getting right. In all these layers we have neurons. So input layer, hidden layer, and output layer. These are the names of the layers which are available. Now, as we are talking about artificial neural network, so as I told you that in all those layers we have neurons. So what I said that there is a layer named as input layer. Number of input layers will be decided by, that's in our hand. Okay, how many number of layers should be? Yeah, one. That is one. Then there is hidden layer, and then there is something called as output layer. So number of layers, one input and output, but hidden layer can be n. It depends on data. So as what I told you, in all these layers we have neurons. Let's suppose this is our original image, right? In which we have some animals. We want to identify whether it's a dog or a cat, whatever it is. So let's suppose this image will be passed as an input to all these layers. And as I told you that each layer will be having neurons. So let's suppose this input layer is having two neurons. This is the first neuron and this is the second neuron. Right? Now, what is a neuron? So it's an important part of the brain which carries our signal from one neuron to another neuron. So with the help of neuron, information can be transferred. The basic purpose of neurons is to transfer the information from one place to another. That's what happens in case of human body also. I already said it's not like that neurons are present only in human brain. Neurons are present in all the parts of human body. That's why we are able to sense something, right? So try to understand. So here what we want, here we want artificial neuron to work the same way the biological neuron works. Let's now see how basically artificial neuron actually works. So in each layer you'll be able to see neurons. So in the first input layer there are suppose two neurons. In this hidden layer, let's suppose there are three neurons. Later on I'll be showing you, there is a project which is developed by Google, ready-made project, anyone can make use of that. There you'll be able to see the architecture of neural network. Okay, and in case of output layer we have one neuron. That's all. Okay. See, hidden layer could have been more than one. This collection of these three neurons is one layer only. Try to understand. Okay. So in input layer and hidden layer, the number of neurons is in your hand. How many number of neurons we should give? That is in our hand. In input layer and output layer. But in what I can say is number of neurons I am talking about. Okay. So let me just correct it. In input layer and hidden layer, I can say the number of neurons is in our hand, but in output layer it can be this output layer, it can be according to some rule. What is that rule? That we will talk about. So we will discuss the rule which will help us to decide number of neurons in this output layer. Okay, let's suppose, see, as I said that this is the original image, right? Now let's suppose by applying some image processing technique, we are dividing this image into two parts. Actually, we do not divide the image into two parts, but we apply some mechanism to convert this into to convert this particular image into zeros and ones. Okay, so let's suppose this is by applying the image processing technique, it is divided. Actually, it is converted into zeros and ones. And always remember, all these neurons, all the neurons in neural network are always internally connected. So this neuron will be connected to this neuron, this will be connected to this neuron, this will be connected to this neuron. Similarly, this neuron will be connected to this one, it is connected to this one, it is connected to this one, and all these neurons are connected to these neurons in the output layer. This is what, as I told you, all the neurons are internally connected. Okay, now as I'm saying that this particular image is going to be the input, so some part of this will go here and some part of this will go here. Let's suppose, as I told you, it's not a part actually. Let's suppose this is denoting first part and this is denoting the second part of the image. So what I meant to say is, I mean to say that I deconverted this particular image into array with the help of numpy, or I can say this is going to be the array data. Okay, this neuron and this neuron. So data will go in the form of an array, right? Now we want to find out what will be the output. So at these neurons, what will be the output at these neurons, what will be the output at this neuron, and what will be the output at this neuron? Yes, we have some data in I1 and I2, that is in the form of array. Now we want to get the output at these neurons because we want to pass that output further and we want to get the final output, right? So how to decide what will be the output at these neurons? So we can decide that, and for that here we make use of some formula, or I can say we make use of some mathematical equation, right? What is that formula? So that formula, it goes like this. That mathematical equation, it goes like this: summation r equal to 0 to n. Okay, I, this is small I, into wi, plus we add some bias. Do not worry if you are not aware about what is bias, but let me try to explain you what are all these things. So it's a summation I, okay? No, it's not ti, it's I. Okay, now what is this? So this I is actually talking about input. What is this wi? This wi are nothing but the weights. What is weights? We will try to talk about. And what is this bias? Right now, do not worry about the bias. We will talk about bias later on. So, what is this input? So you can see I1, I2. So the array data which we get, that is going to be the input. Okay. What is weight? Weight is nothing but any random value that we have assigned to the neurons. See, there are going to be some random values which we are going to assign to neurons, because initially we are not aware about the weights. Weight is what? Weight is nothing but how much importance should be given to a particular neuron. So initially it is going to be random because we also are not aware about how much importance should be given to any neuron. So we assign some random weights, some random value. Weight is going to be any random value that we assign to neuron, and initially it's random value. It's like a priority. Whenever I say weights, I mean to say it is a priority. Okay. For example, just take a simple example. Suppose there are three friends of yours, A, B, and C. Right? There are three friends of yours, three friends, A, B, C. Now, all of them, A as well as B as well as C, all of them they are hosting some party, and they are hosting the party on the same day, at the same time. Let's suppose that evening they are hosting the party, right? Now, now you have confusion. Whose party to attend? So what are you going to see here? So here you will see which friend is closer. Is it A or B or C? Let's suppose it's B. Let's suppose B is your closest friend. Now what you will do? That means what? That means you are going to assign more weight to B. That means you are going to prefer his party, right? So exactly same thing here. Weight is nothing but the priority. To whom you are going to give the priority. So inputs having higher priority will be assigned higher weights. I will again repeat. Inputs having higher priority will be assigned higher weights. Now there is a question mark here, which value we should put here. That will be decided by this particular equation. And this is the equation which I am trying to explain you. Okay, so this II are nothing but the inputs, this WI are nothing but the weights, and weight is nothing but the priority. Right? But initially we don't know the priority. So the priority or feature selection will be done by system itself. So initially we will provide the random value of the vector. Let's suppose, let's consider this particular neuron as x. Let's name this as x, this one as y, and this one as z. And let's consider neuron x. Let's consider this neuron x. Okay. So there are two lines which are coming as input to this one. This one and this one. There are two lines which are coming to x as input. Okay. And as I said that we are going to assign random weights initially. So let's suppose this weight is W1 and this weight is W2. Similarly, there are two input lines which are coming to Y. Let's suppose this is the weight WA and this is weight WB. And same is the case in case of Z. Let's suppose this is Wi and this is Wj. So these are the random weights. Even we are not aware about what are the values. So obviously, in case of implementation, obviously there are going to be some numbers, and those numbers are going to be random numbers. Okay. So let's name the weights as W1, W2, Wa, Wb, and Wi, Wj. Now, what will be the output of neuron X? What is going to be the output here? So how that can be decided? That will be decided by this particular equation. So I will give a simple example here. See, this particular equation, to get the value here, how I can write down? So just expand this, right? So that this, let's suppose this is equation 1. Now equation 1 is going to tell you what? So it will be something like this. I1 into W1. See, this I1 into W1. As there is a summation sign here, that's why I will put plus. What next? I into Wi. So I1 W1. Next is I2 into W2. So plus, because of summation sign, I will put plus and then I2 into W2. Right? Plus bias. I told you for bias, don't worry about it right now. And let's suppose, just for understanding purpose, let's suppose the value of this one is 0.54. Let's suppose we got the value as 0.7. Let's suppose we got value after solving this particular equation. Okay, as we have not assigned any values to this one right now, so let's suppose we got 0.54. Now we need to add bias. Bias is what we use bias to keep neurons active. What I say, we make use of bias to keep neurons active. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by this? Suppose the value of I1 and I2 is 0. Suppose I1 and I2 is 0. So what if I1 and I2 is 0, what you will get the result of this one? As 0 only. Right? So in that case, the value of I1 into W1 plus I2 into W2 will be 0. It will become 0. So if you do not add bias value, 0 will be going to 0 is going to be here. Right? And what do you mean by this? That means that neuron X will become inactive. And what do you mean by inactive neuron? Inactive neuron means like some part of the brain is not working and which is not good. So to keep neurons active, we add some bias value. That is the purpose of bias. So bias is a very small value or negligible value. And let's suppose I am adding a bias value at 0.02. 0.02. You can make it a 0.01, whatever you want. It should be very, very small. So what are you going to get is 0.56. So 0.56 is going to be the output at X. Okay, this is a very small part of the complete process, right? And after getting the value as 0.56, we pass it to this value will be passed to something called as activation function. There are near about 14 activation functions that we are discussing in deep learning, right? But here we will try to talk about only one. Okay, so this is a simple introduction to neural network. Maybe I will go further and I will try to complete this remaining part. But see, till this point, I hope everyone is clear. Whatever the output, similarly here also you will get some output, similarly here also you will get output. And all those outputs we are going to pass it to activation function. For example, sigmoid function, tanh function, right? There are a number of activation functions which are available, which we make use of in deep learning or neural networks. Till this point, anyone any difficulty? Any doubt here? Introduction to neural network. Can you people just at least reply yes or no? I will not take that much of your time. Don't worry. Either you are getting or not getting, can you just reply? Okay, thank you guys. Okay. So maybe we will continue this one, right? Before that, let me tell you, tomorrow, see today I will be sending some files to you. That will be assignment. Those people who generally join late, pass the message to them also. I will be sending some of the files, some of the questions to you as assignment. You have to submit those assignments on the required time, at required time. I will give you some time to complete the assignment and submit it. Depending on that only your marks will be awarded for this subject. Okay, that is one point. Today I will be sending it, maybe at the evening or maybe late night. I will give maybe I will give whatever the time which is required for that. Definitely that time will be given to solve those assignments. That is one thing. Next thing is tomorrow there will be a test kind of a thing we will conduct based on the topics which we have covered till, right? So it will be objective test. You will be given 10 15 20 minutes. Within that time you need to solve it. Okay, again that will be for deciding about your marks, right? Because I should also have a criteria. I know everyone is attending the classes and everything very regular. You are sending your numbers and attendance, everything is okay. But yes, I also need something to decide about your marks, right? So I will again repeat, tomorrow there will be a test kind of a thing I am going to conduct. Maybe 15 20 questions I will be asking you. You need to submit the answers. Okay. And depending on that, your scores will be decided. How to conduct that I will decide. But you need to be ready with whatever we have discussed till now. You need to be ready with all those things. I hope everyone is clear. Any doubt, anyone? Do you have any doubt? Just ask me right now only. Because yeah, again there are 6 minutes remaining. I will not take your extra time. So anyone any doubt regarding assignments and tomorrow's test? Just let me know, yes or no. Sanidhya, I said whatever the topics which we have covered till now, based on those topics, there will be a test. 1 to 3. Units 1 to 3. Right? So questions based on basics of Python, questions based on algorithms like KNN, like SVM, like linear regression, you will be able to see in that test. Is it clear, Sanitha? Okay. Any other doubt, guys? Anyone? Any doubt? Okay. So I hope that there is no doubt for to anyone. So okay, that's it then. I will give 5 minutes. Just start sending your numbers.